And sex, passion, love, that's just the way of life.
Connection.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
You have to be able to every single day just focus on what's the gift. How has all these things manifested in your life before? Focus on that and
Yes.
create. And welcome to the God, Money, and Sex podcast. My name is Raul Villacis, and here is my co-host,
Vivian Villacis.
I'm excited to have you here, babe. This is becoming little by little my favorite part of the week.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Except for date night.
It's
Except
mine
for date
too.
night.
Mine
Actually,
too.
you know, we're doing this at the same day that is date night, so it's actually becoming the favorite day
Thursday.
of the week. So the topic that we have today is a topic that I think we get a lot of questions from. A lot of people asking us, like, how do you handle some pressure? And we look at pressure in two ways. One, the pressure could create diamonds.
Because it does.
It does. I mean, how diamonds are created is through
Yeah.
pressure. I know you love
Yeah.
diamonds.
Yes. Our diamond, our girl's best friend.
I'm beginning to see the truth of that.
Uh-huh.
But on the other side, a diamond also could crack if it's
Yes.
not built the right way. And I think pressure could, people cracked on pressure.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about how do you handle pressure. So from a woman's perspective, babe, looking at what you go through and the pressure that women have, like how do you look at pressure? How do you handle pressure?
Well, that's kind of like a loaded question, but just thinking back on this week, we have a little boy and a girl, and we went to the doctor's office. And as a mom, I love my kids and I try to do my best. I feel like, a lot of the things that I do, I leave it up to God and He will guide me, He will protect me. But when it comes to something that has to do with health, then it's like it's beyond my control. It's out of my hands. And that's the pressure that I feel, that sometimes like I don't know at the moment how to react to it, because to be honest, like this week, as you know, like we had this conversations, like my heart was so filled with fear. And it was like something that I cannot control, something that I cannot, have an answer to. And it brings fear into my heart. So
as a mother, you feel like, the pressure is that you have to know everything. You have to take care of your kids. You have to have all the right answers. But the reality is that, as parents, we're not doctors, like so much, things going on between you have to give them vaccines, you have to give them this, how do you make the right choices?
And then the truth is, like, I sit back and I'm like, okay, I have the choice to let fear come over my heart, which at that moment, like it did. My heart was filled with fear. And then for me, like I serve an amazing God, and I was reminded of His promises. And it's like, He's always going to be there for me. He's always been there for me. Why do I not trust Him in this very moment that I was going through that? And I think a lot of the times, as human beings, we let that fear creep inside our hearts, in our words, in our mind, and then we start going down the spiral from there. And, like as we see today in the world, that is something that's happening now, of, how fear, anxiety, depression, all these things really overtake our life.
And that's from pressure. I mean, you have pressure of being a mother, you have pressure of being a wife, you have pressure of being, an entrepreneur, you have a pressure even looking beautiful and looking good. I mean, as a woman, I think that women go through a lot of pressure and a lot of even image pressure, right?
Of course.
You look at Facebook, you look at Instagram, all those beautiful women and how you're supposed to look like. So how do you handle that? How do you, as a woman, how do you handle the pressure of even image? I mean, right now you said, from a mother's perspective, handling, how to take care of your kids' health.
Yeah.
And then what's the other side? Is like, as a woman,
what you look like. What you're saying.
It's
so true.
Act, how you're supposed to I guess, conduct yourself, right?
And then I think a lot of that times too, like we get so caught up into the social media aspect of what like life looks like to people on social media, and it looks perfect. Like people's hairs are perfect, people's makeup is perfect, their skin is perfect, and then you start to compare yourself, and it's like, as women, like we want that. We want to belong to something greater. We have our instinct to belong, so we want that, and then we start to feel bad because we don't have it. You know, that comparison game, that who are you really comparing yourself to? Who? And then again, then I have to remind myself, like, who made me and why am I here on this earth? Is it just to have this like long, beautiful hair, or is it really to have a deep, loving conversation from a truthful place that, you know, like this whole week has been like a crazy week for me. And that's the truth. You know, like we may not always put it out there, but if we start to really acknowledge the truth, it's not so bad.
And then one of the things that I love having this conversation with you, because we've been through pressure ourselves in the past.
Yes.
And I think that this is not our first go around that we have pressure, right? Whether it's in different aspects of our lives. Yeah. But I look at the way that we handle it now, and I look at the awareness, right? And what I talk to my guys with, the guys that I'm coaching, is like, women go through a lot of pressure. I mean, like, I can't imagine how much pressure as a woman you have right now with everything that goes on. Because men, we handle pressure in a different way. I think that most men will agree with me that we look at pressure as sometimes as energy.
A driving force.
Like a driving force. It's like, fuck, man, it's pressure going in. I know that either I'm going to crack or I'm going to show up.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for a long time, 20 years in business, and I know the ups and downs of business. I know the ups and downs of relationships.
Yeah.
So I have this framework, at least in my mind, that when pressure comes in, like, that's where I show up the most.
Yeah.
That's like, for me, like when there's a challenge in my business, when there's a challenge in something, that's where I show up the most. So then one of the things that I got this week from experiencing your pressure with, kids having, going to the doctors and making sure that they're okay and
having to make decisions
is, how do I hold the space for you to wither that pressure? Mm-hmm. Because here I am, I'm building a business, I'm the king of the castle, I'm trying to lead my family, but if I can't lead you to understand that sometimes we don't have control of everything.
No.
And sometimes I used to take that personal.
Yes,
okay,
of course.
What's wrong with her?
Yeah, because you want to fix it.
Because I want to fix the shit.
Fix the problem.
I want to fix the problem. Yeah. I want to be able to find what's wrong. And then, now that you've come to a situation that you confided in me and said, okay, this is what's going on. Because the first time you came, I said, okay, what's going on, babe? Like, what's happening? And then you told me what's going on, and I was able to hold the space. I didn't try to fix it. I didn't try to, make you feel better. I just said, this is okay. I mean, we're going to figure it out.
And I think it was also like the timing of things. I think like in a relationship, which we've been, like, we only speak from experience. We've been together almost 19 years, and everything that we've gone through, it's like we tend to now analyze and see like what is a gift from whatever thing that we were going through. So when you asked me that, what I was feeling, like I was really feeling anxious and angry and out of control, and like my emotions are just wild, and that's who I am. And before, like, I've tried to control them and make them wrong, and this time I let them be. Like I cried, I prayed, I was fine, then I got over it. And then I remember, like, you asked me, and I wasn't ready to share because I felt like you were not being the safe place for me to share at that moment, because I think it was like at the end of the night, you're probably going to go to sleep right after.
And actually, no, it came to me too, because this week also I had some pressure. Like, I came home and I'm going to war. I'm handling the business, and I came home.
Felt you were not ready for me.
And then the first thing that happened when I came home is there was a big ass table in outside the garage.
Yeah.
So I walk in, I was like, what's going on with this table? And then you said, well, we so give you the backstory of that table is we bought a table, a very expensive table from Pottery Barns, and then it ends up having termites, right?
Right.
So we call the company, they're going to send us a new table. So they send us a new table.
Right away.
But they couldn't take that table back or put it together. So it was a fucking shit show.
Yes.
So now I'm coming home and I find a table in the garage, and I find the old table outside in the atrium, and there's no table in the dining room.
Yes.
So that moment, I'm like, okay, this is a job for me. Like, I'm gonna handle this.
I'm gonna fix it.
I'm gonna fix this. So immediately, like, calling Pottery Barns, like, what's going on? I need somebody to pick this shit up tomorrow. I need somebody to put the table together. But it happened like for me, it happened within minutes. It happened in an instant.
Yeah.
And we have to just be real with ourselves as men, is that we are coming home from the workplace. We have that energy of being busy. We have that energy of handling problems.
So there was no transition period for you.
And usually I like to have a transition period in my garage. I listen to a little bit of music. I do a 3-minute meditation before I go into the house, and I have that transition period.
Yeah.
What I experienced that day, it was no place
transition.
for me to have that fucking transition period. Now all of a sudden I have no place to park my car because I have a big ass table in the garage.
Yes.
Now it's time for me to continue war mode.
Yes.
And I think that's when you didn't feel safe to share with me what's going on.
Of course not.
Because I'm in the zone. I'm like, I need to fix shit. I need to make sure that.
Yes. And in the past, I would have taken it personal because here I am, like I have all this frustration going on inside me, and I would be expecting for you to come home and take care of it. And I think what we've learned through our relationship is like, you can't take care of stuff for me. I can't take care of stuff for you. We got to take care of ourselves and be completely whole in order to love each other and to be there for each other. So I took care of myself, and I just let my craziness go, like in my own space. I cried. Like I said, I cried, I prayed, I went crazy. It felt a little bit better. You asked me that night, but I didn't feel safe.
Yeah,
and I thought at that moment, like,
shit, I fucked up because I realized maybe that that it was maybe too intense.
No,
I didn't have a transition.
no.
So but I gave you the space, and I actually gave myself the permission to say, you know what, that's what I do. I need to fix shit.
Yes.
I need to fix a problem. I see a problem, I can't. And man, if you listen to this, like, don't apologize for being the guy who fixes shit. Like, don't apologize. I think that a lot of guys, what they do is like they come home and they get beat down so much by their women and say, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then we apologize and we get emasculated because we don't know who to be.
Yeah.
So just own the fact that, man, you're a fixer. You're gonna fix shit. As men, our subconscious mind, our primal part is seeing a problem,
fixing
hunt the deer.
Yes.
Hunt the deer. Just go in there and hunt the deer. And if you take that away from us, if you don't let us hunt the deer, we're gonna be frustrated.
Yes.
We're gonna be frustrated. So, but at the same time,
it's the same thing with us. Like, if we could get frustrated too if we don't let our feelings out. And that's the part, like in the past, you suppress your feelings. Like what's going on now, it's like women are suppressing their feelings, whether it's to cry or to scream or to yell, not necessarily at each other. I'm not saying that. I'm saying like you let those feelings out whichever way you best know how. Like it could be dancing, it could be singing, it could be like, screaming in rage and then just letting it all out. And for me, that just works wonders. And so I felt that peace within me a little bit. And then when you asked me and I felt ready for you to really take in everything that I was going through, then I felt safe. It was a safe place for me to just vent.
And that's when we talk about holding the space. Because at that moment, I didn't take it personal. You didn't take it personal.
No.
So actually, I think Pottery Barnes is actually listening to this podcast because they just called me right now. I think we're ready to pick up your table, sir. We're ready to pick up your table. Like, too late. The word's out. Your service sucks.
That's right.
But then the next day is like, okay, we weathered the storm. Then I held the space, and then you were able to tell me what was going on. And I said, just trust.
Yeah.
Just trust. And I think that as men, as couples, we need to handle pressure in different ways. So I'm going to give you a little framework of how we handle pressure.
Okay.
Number one is faith.
Yes.
Right? There's absolutely, like, if whatever faith you have, whether it's faith in God, faith in the universe, faith that, good things will happen, like you can't handle pressure if you don't have faith.
Yes.
And many times you and I, our faith has been tested time and time again. But we could look at the track record from God and he's never steered us wrong.
And I think when it comes through faith too, is like the power of the spoken word. Like, we read that all the time in the Bible. It's like what we say, you either bless something, you edify something, or you destroy it. So our words and our thinking are so together. Like if we have our thinking and our words in alignment, and we speak truth in life like God has spoken through us, then things will come to flourish. So
but you can't do that unless you have faith.
Yes,
like
of course.
You can't believe that that God is working in your life unless you have faith.
Yeah.
So the first thing is that you have to believe, you have to have faith. Whatever you're going through, whatever pressure you have, financial pressure, marriage pressure, health pressure, you gotta have the faith that there's something bigger that's gonna come from it. The second one is you have to focus on something that you could reaffirm that faith. Like the way I look at it is like, if I have faith that God is going to make this a better situation for me, a better experience, I need to focus on where has he showed up in my life, or where has faith proven without a shadow of a doubt that I'm taken care of. Yeah. So the first step is faith. The second one is focus.
And focus also to whatever your goal is. Like, you know, whether it's on your relationship or your business, or even focus on him or a higher being, focus on what is that going to look like for you, you know, because I think like sometimes we tend to forget that and we're just maybe all over the place. But it's like if you focus, you have a clear focus on what it looks like, a clear vision of what it looks like, then it comes into existence.
Whatever you focus on, whatever you're focusing on, you're bringing energy to.
Yeah.
So sometimes what we used to do is just focus on the problem. And I focus on why you didn't do what I think you should have done, and you focus
why
on
you didn't do.
So then the moment that we start crossing those fires and putting the wrong focus towards the problem.
On. Yeah.
So, but if you focus on and the second one is find the solution. Mm-hmm. Find what you could do about it. Find. And then sometimes there's nothing you could do. Sometimes you have to just surrender. Sometimes you have to surrender. And the last one, the third one is,
don't say it. You
say, fucking do it.
No, I know.
Fucking do it. Do whatever the strategy is.
We gotta find another F without having that. Really,
you know what F I'm talking about.
I know.
I'm talking about do it. Just do it. Just once you focus on the solution, if you find a little bit of light, just do it.
Yeah.
Just go in and do it. A lot of people have faith in the past, at least in my experience, is that we have faith and we think that God is going to take care of it. Yeah. God is not going to take care of everything. He's going to show you the way. He's going to give you the insights. He's going to give you the opportunities. He's going to put people in your place. He's going to put opportunities in your. You have to be able to have faith in yourself. You have to be able to believe that you are the one being guided. And if you don't have that frame, if you don't have that structure, you're going to crack.
Difficult. It's
crack
very difficult.
Under pressure.
Yes. And then you'll be out with the rest of the world, not knowing where to go, not knowing what to do, and just getting consumed by the negative that this world has. And unfortunately, there's a lot of it out there. But, you know, if anybody's hearing this, we pray that, you know, you will look onto something better, because there is something bigger and better than who we are, that is filled with love and encouragement, that, you know, you're not alone.
There's 70,000 thoughts that go through your head every single day. Did you know that?
Are they mostly negative?
80% of those are negative thoughts.
Yeah.
And 80% of those thoughts are yesterday's thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's the reason that we're constantly living in the same drift, the same dream, the same situation, the same experience.
Yeah. We're dwelling in the past.
We're constantly dwelling on the problems, dwelling on the pressure, dwelling on things. So I look at it in a way of, you know, it's never been a time in my life that I haven't learned how to swim if I was thrown into the ocean. And whatever you're facing in right now, you have two choices. You either drown or you fucking swim. Yeah. That's it. Whether it's in your business or your relationship, you either drown or you fucking swim. And pressure is a gift.
Yeah.
Pressure is a gift. A pressure in a relationship means that you have to expand, you have to grow. Pressure in your business means that you have to become a better businessman. Pressure in your health means you have to take care of your health. Pressure is a gift.
I know.
You either become a diamond and shine, or you crack and you do it again and again and again.
And we pray that nobody cracks. And if they do, that they may be able to find something better and brighter and become the diamond.
Thank you for listening to this. And we're going to give a shout out to a couple of people that are here in the Facebook Live. Jason Maxwell, fucking swim. Love it, brother. Jorge Pantaleon. We have Moray. We have Rodolfo. We have a bunch of guys here in this. Hillary, Matt, Wally, Brandon, Jason, Jay Russell. Well, at the end of the day, you know, our intention that you listen to this podcast, that you get inspired, but not just to get inspired, that you take action.
Yes.
You realize that, you know, God is greater than our problems. That if you have the faith that there's a bigger purpose for you being here, then you're blessed. The money, the production, the ability for you to produce is not just about money, it's about you becoming a producer. And sex, passion, love, that's just the way of life.
Connection.
There's a connection.
Yeah.
You have to be able to every single day just focus on what's the gift. How has all these things manifested in your life before? Focus on that and create.
I love it. I have nothing left to say with all of that.
We're done. Thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you check out our Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube page. Follow us in every single social media platform that we have. Follow us everywhere except for our bedroom. We'll keep that to ourselves. Thank you. Learn it.
Live it.
Experience it.
Love life.